Hey, your diamond leader, Chelsea Sear here. I wanted to hop on here and kind of chat with you guys really quick before I gotta go get some stuff done and clean my pool and stuff. Someone is like driving by really slow. Oh, they're reading the thing up there. Anyways, okay. So I wanted to hop on here because I wanted to talk to you guys about leadership and leading from the front, and because I've gotten it a lot lately where like I'm doing all the things and my team just is not producing, or my team is just not following suit, or they're just not growing, or they're not enrolling, or they're not getting their new distributors started, or they're not doing the things that they need to do. They're not. So there's a couple of different aspects that I want to touch base on this, okay? First of all, what you speak about, you bring about. So when you're talking about your team and you're saying they're not, chances are you're bringing more of that thing that you're dreading onto your team, and that's not something that you want to do, right? It's law of attraction. If you don't know what that is, you definitely need to go look that up, because what you speak about, you're going to bring about. So if you speak, are you speaking life over your team, or are you speaking death over your team? That's something that you have to really consider, because if you're saying over and over again, my team is killing it, they're on their way, they're doing so good, you're shouting your team out, you're talking about the things and doing the things and all these things, what's going to end up happening is you're going to notice your team's going to start producing, and your team's going to start doing the things that they need to do, okay? So leadership, it's something that's scary, right? It's so scary leading a brand new team. I remember when I first started, and my leadership has changed over time. So when I first started, my first round of enrollments, like I would say my first 50 distributors or so that I enrolled, I butchered, okay? I butchered it. And it was because my mindset was not ready to lead a team. It wasn't even ready to really lead myself, okay? And so that's something that we need to get our minds straight on right from day one. How are you filling your cup up every single day? Who are you listening to every single day? And what are you physically doing in your business every single day, okay? Because the number one way to make sure that your team is producing is for you to lead from the front. What you do, your team will do. So, and some of them, yeah, you're going to have some people who just slip through the cracks and they're not going to start enrolling. They're not going to end up doing the things. But for the most part, your team is watching you so that they can do everything you do. It's kind of like our kids, right? Our kids are watching everything we say, everything that we do. Chances are, if we cuss like a sailor, our kids are going to cuss and they're going to pick that up, right? That's exactly what your team's doing. They're watching what you're doing. They're watching how you're posting. They're watching if you're posting something in the team page about what you're doing. They are waiting for you to show them exactly what they're supposed to be doing every day. And a lot of your team comes from a 9-to-5 job. If not, they come from a world where they are being shown what to do. I gotta plug my phone in really quick. Sorry guys. Halftime. So, your team, chances are waiting for you to be that person to guide them and to show them they need a boss in their life. And so you have to learn how to lead from the front before your team will actually start enrolling. You have to make sure you're enrolling. Are you doing your 6 steps every single day? Are you doing your personal development? Are you doing your PLC messages every single day? Are you doing your potential distributor messages every single day? Are you stepping up as a leader? Think about all the things that you want with a new distributor, and all the things that you want your team to be doing every single day, and then ask yourself that really hard question. Are you doing it yourself? Because if you're not doing it yourself, chances are that's the reason why your team is not producing. That's why your team's not doing the things that you want them to do, okay? And I understand, like, leading a team is so scary sometimes. Doing all the things every single day, yes, it's overwhelming. I know this because I've learned the most in the trenches of hard work, okay? And hard work, it's scary, right? Everything is just so scary. And so something that I actually learned on my Diamond and Above Leadership Zoom was talking about, they had mentioned this analogy, and you guys know me, like I'm huge on analogies. And so I just had to share it with you guys. It's kind of like swimming, okay? How do you guys learn, how do you learn how to swim? you have to actually get in the water, right? You have to get in the water, and you might get a little water in your ears, you know, you might get a little water in your eyes. It might burn for a minute. You might, you know, swallow some water. It might feel uncomfortable, right? It might feel uncomfortable being underneath that water for the first time when you go under from trying to swim, but you're not gonna die. You're going to make it through it. You're going to make it through it because you're deciding that you are not going to stop until you learn how to swim. Just like everything else in your life, there is going to be a process where you're going to learn how to master it. Just like riding a bike, learning how to cook for the first time, learning how to bake, learning how to be a better spouse, learning how to be a parent. It's all scary right from the start, right? But the only way that you're going to learn is by being deep in it and learning how to actually just start and learn how to lead the team as you go. You're going to have people who are going to drop off. You're going to have people who are going to blame you for things that you didn't do. You're going to have people who are going to tell you that they can't do it, and you're going to have to believe in them before they believe in themselves. You're going to have so many different types of seasons in your business where you're going to be growing through them and growing through them and growing through them. And you just have to make the decision to do it while you're overwhelmed. It's going to be overwhelming. Teaching somebody else exactly what you do. But you have to learn how to do it. And you have to learn how to stay consistent while you're leading that team because they're watching everything that you are doing. So I want to touch base on this. One of the ways that I have always learned how to lead a team from the front, because most of the time they don't see what we're doing in the background, right? We're leading ourselves. We're working our butts off. We're sitting at our table for hours and hours and hours out on end working this business. We are hustling and being parents and learning how to wean in our dinner and cooking dinner for our family and taking care of our kids and taking care of all the things that we have going on, and it's overwhelming, right? And they don't usually see what we're doing behind the scenes. And so one of the number one ways that I have learned how to get your team to go is to be extremely loud about what you're doing, okay? What are you doing? So when you enroll your loyal customer, and I want you guys to like bullet this on your paper. I'm sure you're taking notes because a good leader would be taking notes right now. So on your paper, bullet this, get loud, and put underneath it, say, you know, when you enroll someone as a loyal customer, shout out your enrollment, not only in the team chat, but on the team page. Shout it out, and how did you do it? Maybe show a screenshot of the whole conversation as it went so that your team can see exactly how you're wording things, exactly how you're saying things, exactly how you're going through it. Did you get that loyal customer because it was a follow-up that you did? Did you get that loyal customer because it was a host-to-post that you did that exploded? Did you get that loyal customer because of this, because of that? What was the reason why you got it? What were you doing, and what did you do in order to do it? Maybe it was a host-to-post that blew up a week ago, okay? Include that in what you're doing. What are you doing, and how are you doing it? How are you succeeding, okay? Another thing, I know if you're watching this, you probably are on your way to hitting a promotion, or you've already hit a promotion. How did you get that promotion? You have to get loud. What are the things that you have felt during that time? And yes, it's going to be uncomfortable shouting out your success and what you're doing. It's always going to be uncomfortable, but is it going to be worth it? Yes, it is, because not only is it going to create more residual income when your team picks up that you're actually putting in the work, but two, it's going to be worth it because you're going to be changing someone else's life while you're changing your own. So making sure you get loud about your enrollments. What are you doing? When you have people who are messaging you about a story, like an Instagram story that you put up, and someone messages you about it, Get loud about it. This person just messaged me. Oh my gosh. When you are adding your friend to your friends list, every single time that you hit a new 100, say, oh my gosh, I'm up to 3,400 friends. How are you doing it? I've been doing 20-minute adding sprees. I've been doing 30-minute adding sprees. I've been adding every single night before I go to bed. This is how I'm making it happen. Same with your schedule, okay? You might not have your schedule all together. I don't have my schedule all together. We have our nifty whiteboard that's in our kitchen, and you got to get loud with your distributors and say, you know, we all have crazy lives. We all have hectic things that are going on, and and you have to make sure that you show them how you're managing your time, because something that happens or something that works for you might work for someone on your team. So making sure you're getting loud about how you're scheduling your day. How are you working your business? What are you doing throughout your business? Because it's kind of like they're not going to know what to do unless you show them first. It's kind of like follow the leader, and your team's doing that. They're following the leader. So you can either not lead and sit around and wonder why your team's not producing, or you can get up and lead from the front, and you can be really loud about what you're doing. And making sure that you're even showing your mess ups. Even showing your mess ups. If you talk to someone and you end up having to block them, why'd you like talking about how you had to block someone? If you have a host post that goes up that does not blow up, show that you got the host post out. Talk about, got out 3 host posts today. I had, 2 of them that were a complete dud. There was nothing on there, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bump that host post tomorrow, and we're going to get out 15 more host posts tomorrow, okay? Keeping super positive and showing your team how you're messing up, but you're still keeping your mindset right and you're still moving forward. So it kind of shows them that there's no room for excuses, that if you can mess up and you can still make it happen, then they can mess up and they can choose to still make it happen. So it's all about just showing them what you're doing and leading from the front. That's why we always say, in order to lead someone else, you have to first lead yourself. And lead yourself loudly. Lead yourself out loud. It's kind of like when you're getting a new distributor started, okay? And you're posting on Facebook about your business and your life and the things that are going on and the struggles and the ups and the downs and all these things, okay? That is not going to stop when you get your distributor to enroll. Your job is to still water those seeds that have been planted. Yes, you already harvest that seed, but now you got to keep it going. You got to keep that seed going all the time, making sure that you are still leading from the front. And like I said, it is scary. It's scary because I've done it before, but I promise you, if you get super loud about what you're doing and you show your team what you're doing, even if it's in the team page already and I've already done a video on it, or there's another leader that's done a video on it, go live, talk about what you do, physically show it and say, okay, you want to watch me do this? You go ahead and you do your messaging spree right there on live so that they can see it. You can even put your camera, literally, you can put your camera and flip it around and show it so that they can see you sending your messages out. You could do your host post the same exact way. Say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do this. You want to watch me do it? Go ahead, show that you're posting on your Facebook. Okay, this is what I'm sending to this person. Put the scripts in the comments. Show them physically what you're doing, what you're sending out. If you've got a great message that you're sending that's getting hits like crazy, post it in the team page. People need to be able to see that, because if you want to be duplicatable, you need to be able to show people how they need to produce like you. How are they going to do exactly what you're doing if you're not showing them exactly what you're doing and you're keeping it all for yourself? It's never going to happen. So you have to make sure that you just be duplicatable and you show people what you're doing. And the last thing I want to talk about is sharing your story, okay? We all know that we have, different stories, different things going on. I've gone live in the team page several times, and I continue to do it because it gets lost in the shuffle, and not every single new distributor is going to go back and look 3 weeks ago and try to find my story. Instead, I'm going to go live and I'm going to share little snippets of my life during this business. What are my struggles? What are my strengths? What have I gone through? What are the things that I've done? Just even if it's a 3 to 5 minute video and I'm sharing what works for me, what doesn't work for me, what I've done in the past, the things that I've had to overcome, things like that. Sharing your story and talking about who you are is the most powerful thing for your team, so that they can see that if you can do it, they can too. Okay, so something that is a huge tip to talk about, it's kind of like I said, watering your seeds after they're already in there, showing them exactly how you get it done, and allowing them to follow the leader. Okay, so excited. Go out there and train your teams, teach them, and lead from the front. Write your 6 list down and make it happen. I'll talk to you guys later.